everybody. All right, today I'm going to show you how to make a very cute little bunny. So if you would like to follow along with me, you're welcome to. You're going to need just a regular white piece of paper. If you have watercolor paper, that's the best. If you have construction paper, that's the next best. And if you don't, computer paper will work. All right, so you're also going to need a Sharpie is ideal. If you don't have a Sharpie, a black crayon will also work. And then I'm going to do marker bleeding on this bunny, which might not make any sense to some of you right now, no problem. But you're going to need regular washable markers, some water, and a paintbrush. All right, so let's see how I can do this. Okay. I'm going to be drawing the bunny really slowly, and then if you need to pause the video or go back for anything, then you're welcome to. I recommend that you draw it in pencil and then go back and trace with a Sharpie. If I drew it in pencil, you're definitely not gonna be able to see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw it in Sharpie. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna be drawing is, I know you can't see it right now. Just below the middle of the paper, I'm going to make the bunny's nose first. So it's going to actually be an egg shape. So wait until I show you what I've got, please. Well, it's more like an oval shape, I guess. So I've got a little oval shape. It's about that size, and then it starts kind of at the middle and then goes down a bit. And then in the middle of that, again, if you need to pause it, because I know I go kind of fast, and pause it. In the middle of that, I am going to put the bunny's nose. And the bunnies are, if you really look at a bunny, their noses are like capital Y's, actually. So in the middle of this, I'm going to put a capital Y. So far, so good? If you want to jazz it up, you can make the top of the Y's a little bit rounder, because that's like where their nostrils are, you know, the nose, your holes in your nose. Ta-da! Doesn't look like a bunny yet, though. Okay, so I'm going to go around, and let me draw it first, and I'll go over. This bunny is looking up. So if you're confused, so I made another circle-ish shape around the oval, and it's really close to the top here, but there's more space down here. You see that, how it's close up here, but there's more space down here? So again, doesn't look so much like a bunny yet, but here's where it's gonna get a little bit bunnier. Okay, so the eyes, I'm actually gonna put them right here where my fingers are. So they're going to be half circles. And then I'm already working with the Sharpie, but when you get your Sharpie or your black crayon, you're going to color those bad boys in. And remember the trick, I like to leave a little bit of white so that it looks like the eyes are shiny. Ta-da! I think I want them bigger. Oh, it's just so sweet, isn't it? All right. So a couple things that we're missing from our bunny. We're definitely missing a neck. You don't just want a floating head. So I'm just going to make a couple lines that go all the way to the bottom of the paper. It's got a skinny little head. And I bet you all are thinking, she's missing the ears. So I'm going to make two really big ears. All right. And they can go right behind the eye, actually. Ta-da! My bunny looks a little lopsided. Well, that's what you get when you draw upside down, everybody. Okay, so maybe I'll make even bigger eyes. But there's my cute little bunny. Okay, so a couple things I could do is jazz it up by adding the inside of the ears. If you want to add something like a bow tie or well, probably not a bow up there because that'd be on top of their nose, or I don't know, something around it, then you're welcome to. For coloring the bunny though, that's where it's going to get a little different. You could add a background too. You know, I always recommend filling your whole space. That means don't just leave white spaces because then you only have a half artwork. You could, those of you that are going to be celebrating Easter, you could, with a Sharpie, draw lots and lots of eggs behind it. And then you can decorate the insides of those eggs with any kind. If you don't want to celebrate Easter, you could still make like circles instead of eggs just to have different shapes, and you could see how they're overlapping. This I colored with colored pencil, but I'm going to show you how you can do some marker bleeding on this one. So to do marker bleeding, you need washable markers. And go ahead, and if you haven't stopped to do either the Sharpie or the black crayon, then you're welcome to. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around things that I want to be certain colors. So for example, I'm going to make this area of the nose pink. So I'm not going to color it in. Instead, let me go ahead and trace the black lines where I want it to be pink. If that doesn't make sense, then again, just give me a second, please. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to pick regular colors. If you want your bunny to be, I don't know, bright orange, then have it orange. It doesn't really matter. All right, so this is what I mean by tracing. So I wanted the nose area to be pink, and I want the inside of the ears to be pink. So that's what I colored it with. And I am gonna go with an orange bunny because I like orange, and it looks good when you marker bleed it. So I'm gonna outline again everything, just on the inside of the bunny. So I'm not gonna put it right on the line. I'm gonna put it on the inside where the fur is. Oh, I can't wait to see if you guys make some of these. You should post them in the comments. All right. Okay. Good. I know you're being patient. You can't even see what I'm doing. Ta-da! That's gonna be a bunny. I could also add whiskers, but I'm not. And then I'm gonna keep a really simple background, just so you don't have to sit here and watch it. And I'm gonna make a purple background, which means I'm gonna trace the edges of my paper. As a matter of fact, I probably won't finish. I'll probably just do one edge so you can see what this whole marker bleeding business is about. And I've been working on scrap paper so I don't accidentally color on the tables. Since you're working at home, you definitely don't want to color on the tables. All right, so that's where I'm gonna stop, even though I'm not completely finished. All right, so the marker bleeding. I've got my paintbrush, and I'm gonna go ahead and dip it in the water. The biggest paintbrush I've got. Yeah, that'll work. Wipe it on the lip so it doesn't drip. And then going around, I don't know if you can see very well, but do you see that the orange, for instance, is loosening? Reload with water. I'm not being sloppy. If you just go over everything, it's going to turn brownish. Do you see that though? How it's turning a really light orange everywhere? This is a really nice way to add color. That's not super dark, but it does look really pretty. And if you don't have paint at home, this is another great way to substitute. I like to put the whole space, even though it looks pretty white what I'm doing, it's gonna look nicer if I don't let up. All right, so that's just the orange around the face. And again, I'm not gonna do everything because that's probably boring. But I will do around the nose. That's gonna be even more subtle. If you use light colors, like the pink instead of the red, it's not gonna be very bright. But you could still see your original marker lines. They didn't go away, so don't be sloppy with those either. Again, and the last thing I'm gonna do, even though I haven't done the ears or the body, just to show you the outside. If you go back and forth, you're gonna get more and more. This is one of those instances why it's better to add more into the background so that I could have something that looks more interesting than just a little bit of purple. but you can see that it's really light, but it just kind of fades up. So marker bleeding is a really fun way to add color instead of just the regular crayons or whatever, which are also fine. Use what you've got. All right, guys, so if you've made a bunny, then I would love to see it. So please post it in the comments. All right, guys, see you later.